So be on your best behavior. We're all being recorded. Or on your worst. Let's just start with it's great to see you all. I missed seeing you in the flesh. And let's start by just taking a few moments of quiet and stillness. If you feel comfortable to close your eyes, great. If you want to keep them sort of as mostly closed, that's fine too. What one of my colleagues would call soft eyes. And as we begin, let's notice our breath, our breathing. Just notice it first without changing it. How much capacity you're using, how it rises and falls. And as you come into the awareness of your breathing, slowly begin to make any shift that you'd like to make in it. To be breathing more fully or from a different place. And now begin to notice your posture without changing it. And begin to do an inventory of your body. How have you placed yourself today? Is there more weight on one side of the body than the other? More forward than back? More slumped and passive than open in the torso? Allow just this awareness to come in. And as you do, allow yourself to notice these places of relaxation and tension. From head to toe, doing an inventory of your body. Its position, its breathing, your position, your breathing. And just finish a scan of the body. breathing easily. And now begin to just allow yourself to stretch and open in a way that feels right for you. And maybe it isn't just with the hands and the arms, but also with the head and the neck, the upper torso. Begin to allow for some easy, gentle stretching. And allow stretching of the upper body. Head and the neck. The shoulders and the scapula. In your own time, begin to unwind. Breathing and moving. Starting to wake up each part of the upper body. Opening up, allowing the breathing to be full as you do. And don't forget to stretch the sides of your body too. begin to have the connection with your pelvis and hips. Continue moving and breathing. Continue moving and breathing. And begin to stretch the upper leg from the hip down to the knee. Always doing what is to your level of comfort and ease. Sitting, lying, standing, as you wish. And you always have permission to just be and rest. And when you're ready to try the other side, you can put a hand on the hip and feel this movement from the hip down to the knee, moving in different ways. And then a lower leg from the knee down to the ankle, seeing different ways that you can move that. And the other one when you're ready. And finding a way to stretch out your feet and ankles. Waking up. Kinesthetic sense. And if you're ready, beginning to connect the lower body parts together from the pelvis and hips, through the upper and lower legs down to the feet. Breathing and begin to connect with the upper body so that your upper and lower body are moving in synchrony, connected. And waking up any parts that still need a little waking up this morning. And you can change the time and the direction and the quality of the movement. Being aware of all the space around you that you can move in and exploring it. And continue moving and breathing. How are we doing? As always in what we do, take care of yourselves to do what feels right in this moment. So I'd like us to explore a little bit with space and with movement in the space, and then also with our breath, breathing, and vocalizing. So see if there's a place that you can find where you feel grounded, shifting the weight between your feet, or if you're on your back, shifting the weight from side to side, or if you're sitting, shifting the weight, feeling your feet connected with the floor. Moving your toes and ankles and the sides of your feet until you find a nice resting spot that feels as grounded as you can be, and you can connect and try to find that place. And now see if you can just ease into this place of groundedness, and then reach with a hand as though you're being pulled in one direction to the side, but keep grounded. See if you can still keep grounded while you're being pulled off center. It's not easy. Breathe, and then shift and find another direction to reach out to, and still try to find yourself grounded until don't take yourself off the groundedness. So that may mean that you don't reach quite as far. Breathe in another direction. Still finding yourself grounded. Breathing easy. Okay, and shake out your legs. You've been holding some tension in them. And get some energy going in your body, whether it's shifting weight or shaking a little bit. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to take some space like this kind of thing, but I'd like you to do, whether, again, wherever you are positioned, just relax and easy. And when you do it and come into that grounded space, I'd like to hear some good vocalization and breath support with that. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Ha! And relax. 1, 2, and 3. This time ground really gently, so sustain the vocalization. And continue in a different direction, another way of grounding and vocalizing. And in your own time, find some ways to continue to ground yourself while you explore the space around you. And then, when you're ready, do some just massaging of your legs. Some easy touch. And be sure to get the underside of your leg too. So we've worked on using some of these muscles, so now let's take some time to bring awareness and deep touch to the upper legs. Both of them. And let that come down to your lower legs so that you have your calf muscles and the front and your feet. You can certainly vocalize as you wish while you do this. A lot of permission here. And don't forget the inside of the legs, from the crotch down to the knees. And the sides, outside and inside of the legs. You can change the speed and level of force that you use. And then begin, if you're ready, to work on the glutes and the hips, the muscles around the hips. And then the sides of the body and the lower back. Breathing with some vocalization with that if it comes out of the movement. And the belly. And just below the ribs. And from the shoulders down to the fingertips. Using some strength to work to release tension. And when you're ready to give some attention to your neck and your occipital lobe, and the sides and crown of your head, in your own time, using the nature of the quality of the touch that you'd like, from light to medium to strong. And of course, you're welcome to vocalize and release. Oh. And if you've muted yourself, know that you're welcome to unmute yourself or keep as you are, listening to your breathing and voice. And find your hands moving to those subtle places, maybe behind the ears or on the ears, or the suboccipital muscles, or the face, around the nose, around the temples. Under the eyebrows, wherever it may be. Ah. 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 Letting the sound come out of the movement. Oh. Ah. And again, you can vary the quality of movement by the speed or the force. Quick and light, or strong and slow. And see if there's any other part of your body that needs a little attention this morning to release. And then begin to move again, integrating the different the upper and lower body. Again, at your own speed and with different qualities. Stretching out any last places that we're going to get ready to move a little more fully. And let's begin to move, finding a rhythm in the music that suits you. And exploring space around you. And see if you can find some smooth way of moving with sustainment. Using the vertical plane of rising and sinking. And now a little faster movement as you explore the horizontal plane, side to side. And now the sagittal plane, which is forward and back. Now on your own, exploring all three planes. Breathing. Continue moving, breathing. How are you doing here? Let me hear from you what you're noticing in your body and in your movement.
Lovely flow, lovely to flow and release, William. Just gorgeous.
Really helping me let go of a lot of stress.
Feeling very energized, even though I didn't sleep at all last night. So just.
Sorry.
Good.
No, you go first, Madeline.
I just woke up, so it feels good to feel this loose, and I'm noticing I have a lot of tension in my right side, in my shoulder and my arm.
For me, it's good to sometimes just move and not necessarily vocalize as much.
You speak
Because
up a
what I
little.
find, sorry, I say for me, it's good sometimes to just move and just follow the flow of the music and follow the flow of the body and not necessarily vocalize with it. So yeah, that was very good for me.
Thank you.
I'm feeling quite heavy in my legs, but it is the end of the day here in Australia, so maybe it's nearly time to go to bed.
I love the loosening the upper body and then pay attention. I love that bit that you were doing about letting the energy go down the inside of the legs and the outside of the legs. I find that's where I really grip and I don't use. So it was fantastic. I don't use those muscles properly. So it was just really lovely to feel the experience of grounding as I was going down through, particularly the inner legs. It was great.
It's such an area that we don't often touch or self-reference.
Mm.
And so I've just been noticing that I need to do the same. Others?
It's a great way of recognizing and giving each part of the body a real recognition. And it almost feels like a dialogue that the body's smiling, saying, hey, you've touched me, you've heard me, felt me, seen me. That feels, yeah.
Always something here.
I'm still arriving, William, and need this more, need more of this, need more of you. So thank you.
It's also, yeah, for me also, it's good to recognize each part of my body. I've not been moving quite a while since I arrived here in Florida. So it's good to move again.
Anyone else?
Also, just really nice to do it with other people. It doesn't work the same way when you're doing it by yourself. So thank you.
Yeah. I'm waking up and it's slow waking up. So I find I have to just, there's part of me that just wants to move and move. And then I notice, whoa, that was too fast. So I keep having to pace myself. So that's very nice to have the music and have the group and be with you all.
So
I have to go to teach, but very nice to see you, William. It's Joan.
hi, Joan. It's great
Yeah.
to see you. And Mary Lynn from way back when. Oh my goodness. It's
Yeah.
like old home week here.
Yeah.
So let's You know, I wanted to share a story with you, just a brief vignette from a client that I worked with the other day and one that Christine worked with years ago. This young man has he was normal functioning, and over time he had a specific syndrome where he lost the ability to use his voice, and movement was very, very restricted. And I was working with him the other day, and
I'm going to leave in just a few minutes.
why I think it's important to look at this vignette for me, but also in discussion about waking up the body and being aware, is that over time his torso was more like this, and today his torso is like this, with his head on his shoulder, with a collapsed torso, restricted breathing, no vocalization except for coughing. He's gone from, he uses a wheelchair, does not have self-care skills. If you can just join me for a moment in finding this place in your body, like this, with your head on your shoulder. And he's gone from palliative care now to hospice care. And I see him every week. And as I worked with him yesterday, at the end of the session, I've been trying to get him to move his head in this direction, but the muscles have lost their ability to do so. But he does a little bit of movement, just so slightly like this, coming up, and come back up. And what I noticed was, at the end of the session, my neck was like this. And it's just so important to have this awareness of where our bodies are with the time that we're spending with people. How we absorb their patterns without knowing it, or with less awareness, and the importance of being aware of that, what it's doing to our own bodies, and finding time to restore. For many years, between sessions, I would always take a short time just to move, to return to my own self, through grounding, releasing, using whatever quality of movement that I needed to bring myself back to myself, following having joined with somebody in their own movement behavior. So I just share that as a way of recognizing this timing of our spending this experience with other people, and it's so easy to restrict the breath or to find a way to return to a default pattern in our own movement. I could go on. I'm aware of our time here, so I want to finish with just a time of waking up, using the different planes in space, the vertical, the horizontal, and the sagittal, forward and back, and realizing that when you move, and this is part of social communication with our clients, whether we're in person or on video, there's something called near reach space, which is if you just touch your body or touch a button or a bangle or a nose ring or a jawbone. This is near reach space. It's very close to the body, on or within inches. And then middle reach space is that space that you would use if you were starting to greet someone in a Eurocentric culture. And then far reach space is exactly as it seems, and it's in all planes. So it's like if you were reaching for something that was almost out of your reach, you would be in far reach. And this is in all planes. So it's in the sagittal, vertical, horizontal. And as we move through life doing tasks or relating with others in person or on Zoom, be aware that how you're using that space and the availability of it. As we close, I want you to know that at New Thought Vermont, I do a movement group. It's a half hour. It's at noon Eastern. You're welcome. There's no cost. Donations are welcome. It's a half hour waking up the kinesthetic sense, sometimes 40 minutes at most, noon time, Monday through Thursday. And also this winter there'll be some coursework that I'll be teaching. So let's finish with some, let's see. Here we are. And allow yourself to be playful and be aware of your breathing and breath support, and guide yourself on your own journey here, vocalizing as you wish, connecting with the music, or in opposition to it, or just resting. Enjoy.
You're muted, William.
And using different qualities. Seeing if there's any other part of the body that needs connecting with yourself. Remember to breathe. Lovely to be with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, William. That was gorgeous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ah,
Thank
See you later.
you.
Great to see you.
so glad about your courses. I'll be on those, mate. I've got them written down on my book.
Me too.
Brilliant, fantastic, everybody. Anything anybody needs to say before we finish?
It's just a wonderful way to start the day. Thank you, William.
So, are we going to log off now? I see like Lisa is just logged on, but we'll have to wait till she gets on and then we'll. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, it's been too long. Hi,
Hey,
Melanie.
hello.
Hello, darling. Janet, we just finished this session, Lisa. So we're going to all now log off, and then I'm going to open up the Zoom meeting for the public day. So give me a couple of minutes, and then we'll then just log back